I'm Dana Han-Klein here with Ali Fazal for Victoria and Abdul.
I would love to know what you admire most about Abdul.
Wow. Well, the fact that he was a very, very unpredictable guy. You know, you think he's very innocent, he's nice, which he was, but at the same time, he was a very well-educated man. Someone who would see through all that was happening around him. And yet, he gave everybody, or tried to give everybody the benefit of the doubt all the time, knowing his doom was hand in hand. But I guess somewhere he it's that glaze or this blindness in this love that he had for this woman. I say woman because he didn't see her as queen. Of course, he respected her as queen, but he saw something more than that.
Do you think that if you'd been presented with a similar opportunity, right, where you're told, like, uproot your entire life, although is this movie that? Uproot your entire life and then go...
In a sense, yeah.
Go do something that, like, might be token, that evolves into more?
Well, I don't know what kind of token would really motivate me now at this stage in 2017. But yeah, it's a big step for someone. But at the time, I think it was also the most honorable thing someone could do in his entire life. Someone as lowly as that, to be given the task of just going and meeting the queen and presenting her with something. Of course, then the whole thing took a new,
took a turn.
Yeah. Quite the turn.
I think it's interesting you use the phrase lowly because, like, to me, I was like, oh, this poor man has a job. He has, he has established roots, and he's being asked to do something that it's honorable, but at the end of the day, it's just like, here you go.
Yeah, that's it.
It's token.
It was really
it's like
stupid.
Appropriation too.
Because it's like one miserable little coin, and that he has to present to her. But I think the idea was, it's the queen, and it's, nobody really gets to see that or be around that. We in India just knew that she was Empress of India. Of course, it wasn't a very pretty picture back in India. It was horrible. But there were Indians working. That was the government we had.
Right.
So you would be ending up working for them. They fought in the World War as well, on behalf of the British Army. So there were a couple of Indians who got knighted and stuff like that. So this guy got the opportunity to... So for him, that was his big reward, to go there and be able to present this.
I think that makes me think of an interesting point, because one of my favorite scenes of the film is this sort of discrepancy of, like, visions of it, where the Indian Revolution is also seen as a revolt, and the scene where the scene where she's presented with that information.
I know.
But you're working with a predominantly British cast, and you're bringing this Indian sensibility to it. Like, were there any moments where you were like, actually, maybe this would fit better for this, or culturally, like, are we being sensitive to this?
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of discussions at different points. I mean, I can't pinpoint which one, but just to have an idea of where we're heading. We cannot, we obviously, the movie does not glorify the British Empire. It pretty much mocks it, but you also can't go wrong with sensitive stuff back in India that was happening. And it's interesting because then there's Muhammad, who's my friend. He pretty much mirrors the emotion on the other side. So you kind of get to see what India was and the emotion of India was at the time through this man who has probably been uprooted from his livelihood by force. He fell into the wrong end, and he didn't want to do that. He didn't want to be part of this, but he got dragged along.
What were your first thoughts upon reading the script?
I thought it was wonderful. I thought Lee Hall had this very interesting, fantastical approach to the script. He doesn't keep a timeline in the script. It's the costumes that take you through the 15 years, odd years. And I thought it was wonderful. The story could be over 5 days, and yet it's over a decade. Well, okay, so I told everybody I read the book. I didn't read the book. I started reading the book, which it's based on, and I stopped. I thought, for the same reason, that the book was a very different... It was literally an account of all those years. And here we were all sort of collaborating from different departments, and the costumes, the art, of course, Stephen Frears. This is a real person. I mean, you don't want to have one thought or one perspective to try and fill him out.
Because he's a real person, but he's someone that we only really have these two very specific accounts of, right? His own correspondence and then her account of him. How do you kind of fill out that role? How do you tap into, like, the rest of his life?
It's almost mathematical. I mean, we literally had to pinpoint using the few photographs that we had. So we would look at the costumes and we know, okay, he's been given that medal, which would be given to him at that point in time. So now he's probably 6 years down, or he's gained weight. So this is after his India trip, because he went to India for a year and he came back, a little podgy, just a little. But you could see that difference in his sort of stature, and he was, the celebrated man. And then you see the writing and the way he would write to the Queen or to people he knew or back in India. And just to decipher this man and this personality was, there's a lot of fleshing out to do. Of course, there was a large part of me in it as well. So just try to be honest, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
What do you think the most challenging scene to shoot was, either logistically or emotionally?
Logistically, interesting. There's one scene logistically, or rather just a location problem, was this scene that Judi and I have on the chariot. Sort of, what do you call it? It's a horse carriage, not a chariot. Carriage. It's an open
it's
carriage.
Queen, it could be a
it could
chariot.
Be anything. But yeah, it's sort of like an open carriage, and we're sitting, and it's after the funeral, my friends, and. Yeah, it was just really hard to shoot because we had so many reshoots on that because something or the other went wrong. But one of the toughest scenes was the first time I meet her in the study. And it's the first time we speak to each other. And I thought it was really hard because it was layered. I mean, there was fear, there was excitement, there's this, wanting to talk to someone, to her, and to share something with her. And of course, she's the Queen, and it's, how do you break the ice? And then goes into explaining, talking about the carpets and, because it had to be right, because that sort of sparks the whole journey, that one conversation.
Did you have to do it a bunch of times, or was it like?
We did a couple of, not many times. I thought we got the gist of it. We got it right.
Do you remember what it was that kind of evolved through the course of playing the scene? That was you're like, we got it. This was what needed to change, or was it just one of those cobbled together feelings?
Yeah. I mean, somewhere I think binding all those moments together was the hard part, because there's that moment where it's just both of them are silently there. She's there writing, he's there, and there's that moment where he quickly reaches out and tries to blot the paper, whatever she's writing, and so that's a bit of a shocker for her. He's forward and yet he's sort of reserved, and then suddenly breaking into this animated explanation of what he does and what he really is all about. That took a little warming up, but that's the thing with Stephen Frears. He's always there to sort of control us, and he lets the actor do and take it wherever we can. The good thing was Judi and I had sort of this unsaid thing going, and we knew where, because Judi has a certain level where she's doing it, so I can't go berserk, and the other way around as well. So we played off each other a lot. I think that helped.
What would be in your Durbar room?
What would be
in your Durbar room?
In my Durbar.
Yeah.
Oh God, I wish I could have the peacock throne. Right? Who doesn't want that?
That's true. That's fair.
That's pretty fair. Rightfully ours.
True.
But God, if I could only have that architecture and those musicians that were there at the time in the 1800s, just playing some classical music. Yeah.
And what's a genre that you haven't been in yet that you'd like to?
Oh, action.
Ooh.
Yeah. Maybe some good old.
Good old-fashioned action, ass-kicking action.
Good old-fashioned. Oh yeah, some good.
Would Judi Dench be in it too?
Oh, she'd be.
Would you ask Judi to do it with you? I love that you get to call her Judi, by the way.
Well,
no, it makes perfect sense.
But she is. She is Judi. Whatever. Yeah.
Do you think she gets asked as much about you as you get asked about her?
I don't know.
Just say yes.
I guess so.
Am I very?
We flirt.
Oh, what's the most unexpected thing that you learned about her?
She owns a fidget spinner.
No way.
She owns the coolest fidget spinner. It's this small, and she's showing off.
She's so much street cred right now.
Yeah.
Just the millennials.
And she's a rapper now. She just did a rap battle with Lethal Bizzle in England. It went viral. You should check it out. It's out there. So the video's out there.
What would your rap name be?
Oh, mine?
Yeah, yours. If you had to rap battle Judi Dench, what would your rap name be?
Oh my God. So, well, I think mine would be, actually it's pretty simple. It's Ali, just Ali Boumaye. I don't know.
It's your name.
She's got a good name. Hers, from the Jew to the D.
Nice.
Isn't that cool?
Nice. All right, I look forward to that.
I want to
rap
spend
battle.
time on mine, yeah.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, think about that now.
Well, thank you so much. Congrats on the film.
Thank you.